Everyone, welcome to the next edition of Independent Artists Unite Song Series. Very special episode here where I am joined with Control I'm Here and Ruin the Mind to talk about their new EP, Judgment Day, and the single Judgment Day. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for
Hey,
having us.
yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having us aboard, Scott.
how long have you guys been working together? It's not your first. This is not your first rodeo together, right?
Nah, we've worked with each other for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
even going back to Darkness Calling. And Ryan, we first met, pretty much when I put out my first single, and then Darkness Calling kind of promoted it a little bit under New Music Weekly. But we started making music together, and he was also very integral in like marketing and writing up a lot on the Blood Handsome split that I did at the time. So, we formed a relationship there and have been working together and kind of been sharing music with each other for like the last, I don't know, 4 years, seems like.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
What's your side of the story, Ryan? I always find
I've
it
never
interesting
met this guy before.
some people are like, yeah, this just happened, da da da. Then the other guy's like, I don't know, I was afraid to contact him.
That's true. That's true. There's always two sides to the story. No, it's really neat that basically I owe everything to me starting up that blog with the Darkness Calling side of things, because that's how I really started being networking and involved in this
Yeah, it's
world at
great. You
all.
make
And
you make these connections and relationships with people. I found doing this show that I didn't anticipate that at all.
yeah, it's really interesting because obviously the music, making your own music is that's the core thing and the
Yeah.
thing that you want to do. But then all these like external avenues open up, and then you never know where they're going to lead. And you're making songs with people on the other end of the world. It's really a special thing. But yeah, Darkness Calling, really interviewing Paul for his own music, because he had his first single was that Majesty Disease song, and I loved that song. I was a fan of that song, still am. And it's just really funny because I reached out and I interviewed him just to kind of put a spotlight on him, and things just kind of snowball from there. Eventually I'm doing my own project and he's hearing that, and I'm begging him for the kindness of doing a remix on some of the Denial Waits tracks back in the day, and he did a fantastic job with that, and here we are. So.
And what was the genesis of this idea to like actually do a whole EP together? Was it your
I
idea,
can
Ryan?
I can talk on that, Paul, if you
Yeah.
want, but I don't want to steamroll you either.
I think, one, we worked together on The Hive, and I'm familiar with, Denial Waits and doing remixes for them. So, working with Ryan has always been very easy and very, very fun. And, we kind of took the idea, Judgment Day, is probably the newer song on the EP. We worked on the three other songs. One, The Hive, is being re-released on this EP, but in terms of Judgment Day, that was a much more recent song where, we're just trying to do different things, and his vocals ended up being perfect for it, the style and delivery. So, we kind of are both sci-fi horror nerds, so why not try to give a little bit of an homage to James Cameron's genius in filmmaking.
I was going to ask.
And
It seems like there was a connection there. Yeah, with the so this was totally inspired by Terminator Judgment Day, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of all started as a joke, really, because to kind of do a real condensed version of the timeline, because I know we don't want to talk about too many other tracks in too much depth, but yeah, started with The Hive. That was a single we released a long time ago, separately, but we've remixed it for this. And so as we were working on more things, the next track we were working on was The Abyss, and that was just called The Abyss because of the lyrical content and the truth of it, and because of him, like mentioning that we're separately movie nerds. The James Cameron Abyss movie linkage in his mind went off, and we made a joke, and I was like, yeah, we should just have a whole James Cameron EP. So next one will be Judgment Day, and maybe we'll do Titanic, and maybe, Avatar. I don't know. I was just joking, going off the rails. We'll just be, real weird with it. How deep can you go? But then on the serious side of Judgment Day, landing on that and being like, I mean, that actually lends itself perfectly to this kind of industrial music world, sonically that would make sense already. We're both big Terminator fans. Like, let's just lean into that for fun and see what would happen. And so he came up with that awesome instrumental with those guitars, and I was just like, this is it. So when he presented me with that, I just kind of had to go into it all the way and lean into the character a bit and see what would happen without trying to be too on the nose. That's the careful line to walk, and we might have one toe too far over. I don't know, but it was fun. I don't care. It was, it was the truthful, genuine thing that our excitement led us to. So
I was thinking, I don't know how like a real like ruin the mind love song would go, like something to go with Titanic. But then I thought, oh no, you focus on the drifting away from you. You're the only one that I
probably something about the ice. Yeah. Probably something about Rose being on that door and me just drifting into the water and fading away. That's probably the moment I would be.
There's always time to do a Titanic inspired
Here
track.
we go.
Behind, so poor old Jack. Poor old Jack.
Paul, I'm interested. When you're working with Ryan, are you are you ever working off of his lyrics, or do you discuss in advance what kind of musical idea, or are you kind of like I'm a nine to five, I make music, and this could be for this person, this could be for that person?
I just kind of play it. It's a little mixture of everything. So, in terms of Judgment Day, the lyrical content fit the song. Majority of the song was written, but then, things will change when those lyrics are presented. So, so we kind of extended out a lot of Judgment Day to kind of flesh it out and kind of have a little bit more going on. And, shout out to Angela Lansbury for laying down sick bars on our song. But we took a sample.
Come on, everybody shouts out to Angela Lansbury. Come on.
Murder, She Wrote. This particular one was from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. But it's basically the spell at the end of the movie to where inanimate objects come to life.
Oh, yeah,
which is kind of, in some degrees, kind of touches on some of the themes of Judgment Day, or at least the James Cameron kind of, war against machines of some sort. So, so it's a little bit of everything. Some of the songs I catalog and then we'll share with Ryan, and he can pick and choose, and then some of them I'll work with other people on. So, and
and for Judgment Day, is this the first time, or correct me if I'm wrong, but is it the first time that you got into like some chunky guitar action, or have you done that before?
For Control, I'm here. This is the first time that I've kind of used guitars. I've used guitars in other projects, mostly like metal and hardcore projects. But probably about 4 weeks ago, I put out a song with Anton Escobar, which had guitars too. That was kind of the first time not the first time, but the second time. But that track came out earlier because it was some time, some release stuff. But no, this is the first real like kind of attempt to try to incorporate some metal aspects to it, and I like how it's turned out. It feels more natural. I've been a guitar player for a long time. That was like pretty much the first instrument I ever tried to learn.
Oh, is that right? Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, went to drums, and then of course now everything's done with computer, which is great, and then bass and everything. But I basically record everything and then kind of see what works and see what doesn't.
Yeah. And is your setup right in your house there?
Yes, yeah. My setup is right to the right of me. I got AV production PC and some pretty cheap recording gear, but tends to work pretty well for me anyway. Also play drums. There's drums on the wall. So
oh yeah. Oh, awesome.
So
And
do a
what
lot of stuff musically.
when it comes to Control I'm Here, what like the sound palette is like, it's like I feel like, you know, I could say, oh yeah, what's in this sound palette and what's not in this sound palette. Is it is that something that you think of consciously, like you know, Control I'm Here is about a certain set of sounds, or does it just come out that way?
No, I mean it's pretty deliberate, you know, particularly after Majesty Disease and some of the remixes I did, you know, there was some continuity differences between those releases in terms of the sound, you know, the sounds that were being used, the instrument sets being used. So probably right when I did No Vocals, which was like the first full length that I've done, you know, I tried to have a consistent sound.
Yeah.
So try to use the same instrument sets and just maybe trying to accent certain new instruments in each song, but overall have the same template for every song. So when I was recording Novo Kills, that was just one long track. Like I didn't start a new session for another track and then another track, another track. So
Mm.
just kept all the instrument sets there and then programmed it from start to beginning. And I felt like the results were more favorable, right? Because the way you hear things from one time to another, you know, and importing those samples in, you know, each time, it can kind of get like a little different, you know, your snare's not popping the same way. Maybe your compression's a little different, your mastering, of course. So I've always tried to make it to where it's like a consistent kind of sound. And it's
Mm.
always evolving. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing to say that it's probably going to go more to a metal tinge in the future, have more metal tracks or more guitars like that. Could even go into like some death metal kind of stuff as well.
Thanks.
Um, but you know, you just never know. It's always evolving. But yeah, I've tried to have a consistent sound where when people listen to it, they can say, "Oh, that's Control I'm Here" or something. You know, so that's always been the intent.
Yeah. I sorry, Ryan. I'm not trying to leave you here and not say anything to you.
Oh no, no, you're all good.
But I was
Paul
thinking what,
is the
yeah.
wizard.
Well, I don't know, but I wanted to say, well, I mean, except you know, any band will say, or any project is, it's a certain thing until there's a vocalist, you know. That's when it takes on a whole new character, you know. And I was thinking, it's weird. I don't know what it is, but your voice and the way that your vocals are produced go so well with a heavy guitar. It's almost like you're like the timbre of the, you know, is similar or something. It's almost like a dueling guitar thing sound, but both things hold the space really well. It's cool. It's well, like when you're doing your syncopated thing, are you thinking about your voice is just like an instrument, um kind of lying in there with the bed of the other instruments?
You know, I don't know if I think of it that way, but I do everything I do, I obsessively think of the music as far as where my voice is going to settle. So more so with the timing, more so with timing and every little instrumental thing. So like, you know, if one little detail is in this section and not this section, then I might let my vocal purposely kind of fall off the rails differently, or maybe I'll have a little more emotion in that spot. And I mean, I guess that's kind of a duh thing to say. I know a lot of vocalists do that, but I just think that in the case of his music in particular, it with and Judgment Day in particular, with this kind of methodical kind of, you know, it's got the strong drums and it's got this, you know, guitar rhythm that's just chugging along the same. It's like a train. So that made me go, well, then my vocal needs to be very like deliberate, especially in the chorus when he's got these like hammering drums. Then I need to be like on a track and I need to like
Mm,
these syllables need to hit this way and be
mm,
very kind of mechanical.
mm,
Without feeling too robotic, hopefully. So,
mhm.
so the music definitely inspires the delivery and the timing and all those things. So yeah, the lyrics would not have been what they are without his very specific kind of vibe.
Mm. And with the, you know, with Judgment Day, like you said, it's tricky to approach It's a story that's been a film already. What hit you about this story? What did you want to get across?
Thank you. That's a good question. I have always loved, like, I kind of feel like Terminator, and here we go. Now we're going into off the rails on the nerd train. But I feel like
Hey,
Terminator
that's
is
the
a
place to be.
franchise. That's the place to be. It's a franchise that I think Terminator and Alien together, which,
Hmm.
hey, another James Cameron crossover with Aliens. But those those franchises to me get a bad rap in the sense of the casual viewer just knows them as big action blockbuster things. They just think Arnold Schwarzenegger. They just think, kind of dad movie, right? And it kind of
Hmm.
goes off in this corner of exploding trucks and TNT and, all these things. And I don't think that's what Terminator is. I love the emotional side. I love the romantic side. I love the time travel elements. To me, that's what really excites me about Terminator is this idea of this guy who goes back in time and loves this woman that he's only ever had a photograph of. And because of this tense situation that they're in where they could die at any moment, they have this quick, intense trauma bond that's kind of a toxic thing in a way, if you break it
Yeah.
down. But they're so intensely into each other for such a brief amount of time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and everything goes down the way it does. But then also on top of that, you have this layer where all of that impacts the whole human race and the world. And it's like our fate is tied to their fate and all these kind of big ideas. And then when you break that down further, it's just Kyle Reese showing up in an alleyway with, a homeless guy's pants and putting on some Nikes real quick and running out and trying to find Sarah Connor in a nightclub. Like it's just also got all these gritty, cool
Mm,
aesthetics to it as well.
yeah.
That I think with the whole
And it was
80s thing lends
scary too
itself.
when
And it's
the
scary,
first
yeah.
Judgment Day, it was like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got the layer on top of that with AI and everything that, we seem to be marching towards right now anyway.
Yeah,
So there are just
it
so
seems like we're
many.
going there, yeah.
So
I
yeah, there are
saw
just so many thematic things.
I saw a meme just the other day. Actually, I didn't think of this beforehand. It was like um, Terminator, and it showed the two guys in there, and he's like, where a guy goes back in time and bangs his best friend's mother and becomes his father.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate move right there. Yeah.
There's a
That's true.
when you put it like that, it's a little different. Yeah.
That's right. So that was what I wanted to write about. That what you just said. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, definitely focusing on the relationship aspect and then also trying to touch on some of the themes of, the war and stuff, but trying to do it in a vague enough way where like if you're a Terminator fan, then you 100% know what this is about. But if you're not, then it still feels cool, hopefully. So that was the goal.
Yeah, which leads us to I've asked you if you will read the lyrics for us,
Yeah, sure.
because you
I
put so much
sometimes
thought
feel
you put so much thought into your lyrics, and it's such a big part of what you do that I always like to have you do this when you're on the show.
sure, I can do that. The delivery always feels a little different, just reading it myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a middle school class being like, here's my poem. No one in the class judged me. But yeah, I
But you can
appreciate
wrap
that.
it. You can wrap it down if you want.
Yeah. um, I will say there's a lot of Terminator Easter eggs in here. So curious to see how
All
many of
right.
you
Let's see
yourself
what we find.
might
I'll see what I catch.
might pull out. All right, so because I'm the one in the back of the scene pulling up in a black limousine, shotgun in the back of my jeans, trench coat, Nike Vandals so clean. Front door, tech nor, come inside. Take a seat, blend in, look alive. There she is, how am I gonna make her mine? Come with me if you want to survive. I will be the one who shuts them down. I will be the one who makes them pay somehow. If we could go back in time, you and me could leave it all behind. Won't stop until it kills me dead. This machine has a hunger that must be fed. Got no pity, no remorse, no fear. Motherfucker, our judgment day is here. And then second verse, pain can be controlled, disconnected. Cooking up plastique for my breakfast. Take the wheel, light it up, feeling reckless. Fuck the mission, I just want to leave you breathless. Make a baby, call it New Order Jesus. Mother Mary, don't you dare ever leave us. I saw your face and you weren't faking. There's no fate but the one that we're making. And then repeat, repeat, repeat. And that's it in a nutshell.
Nice.
You couldn't
Yeah.
imagine how I felt when he sent me those tracks and I put him into that song. I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Because like I'm a huge Terminator fan.
Yeah.
So like it didn't come off as like it was straight up Terminator, you know, but it has those little, you know, kind of references in there. But yeah, I was like, so I remember the day he sent it, I was like, dude, this is great. Like I love this.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate it. I was excited about it.
I think you did a great job of just what we said earlier of like dipping your toe a little bit into the storytelling, but not it is general enough, because I have to say, even though it was called Judgment Day and I read it, I thought, I think that's what's going on here. But I noticed like in the description of it on Bandcamp, you don't flat out say that that's what it is.
Yeah.
But then I saw that you thanked James Cameron, and thank me, by the way. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, you've just been very
I don't know if I've ever been thanked
inspirational all around.
like that. Certainly not with James Cameron.
Yeah, you two share something in common now. You should be able to just call him up.
Our age, I think, unfortunately, but
Oh no. Well, hey, the masters, age doesn't matter when you're one of the masters. You transcend all time.
thank you.
There you
So Easter eggs, I can't. Is are the Nike Vandals? Is that an Easter egg?
So that's a reference to that scene, you know, which of course I'm calling back to so much on my Instagram page, I know. But yeah, I did a lot of I can call some out, but I you know, obviously he's got the sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
Tech Noir being the club. Those things are kind of obvious. But some of the things that I kind of worked in was trying to take some of my favorite moments of his dialogue and make those good lyrics. So he has this whole
"Come
speech.
with me if you want to live." That's
that whole thing. So come with, and so I've got the "Come with me if you want to survive," having to tweak it a little bit, but I he's got that whole speech about, you know, how the Terminator will not stop ever until she is dead, and he talks about it having no pity, no remorse, no fear. So I had to steal that. You know, she's talking about how hard his life must be, and he says, well, pain can be controlled, you just have to disconnect it. I thought that was just like, I was like, that's a Nine Inch Nails lyric right there. Let me just pull that out and and stick that in here. So lots of just little you know, the plastique, so narrative things, but really trying to take the dialogue strengths of that scene in particular, with talking to her in the car and just the nature of the Terminator and how relentless it is. I was like, I have to communicate that in here for sure. So
yeah, I love it. And it's and just on the nerd tip, is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, is that the pinnacle of the Terminator movies? Is that the best Terminator movie?
Oh, that's a tough question. What do you think, Paul? I'm gonna let you talk for a minute.
You know, that those first two movies are generally my favorite. It's hard to say which one's better. I think both of them have different kind of focuses on different kind of genres, right? So I think the first one's more of like a horror film more than it is a sci-fi action film, where I think the second one's like pretty much action filled, you know. So
yeah.
I'm a fan of both. I really like the original one because that's, you know, historically in my mind, my dad showed me that in like the early 80s, and it kind of just changed my life. I was like, this is crazy. I was going around acting like I was the Terminator for about a year after watching it. But yeah, Judgment Day is a great sequel. You know, there's not very many good sequels. That one can be argued that it's better than the original.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought too. Yeah. And it was such a leap in the special effects. So the first one was like stop motion animation Terminator, then suddenly it's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
You know what I always thought though is I always I always felt like Michael Bain should have been a bigger movie star.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought he's so great, and he's so great in this movie. It would have been nothing without him. You know, is this particular actor, I think that could do that so well, because it's such an absurd, you know, it's really such an absurd thing that you got to get across,
Yeah.
and you don't question it for a
Uh,
second from Michael Bain. It's
yeah.
just like, oh, this is what's happening, you know,
Yeah. He's so
which I think is
intense
not easy.
and
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, Michael Bean has been, killed off in so many good franchises. It seems like even
exactly.
Aliens, he was in that, and then of
Yeah,
course, Alien 3, we figure it out. Sorry, spoiler.
yeah.
But yeah, between that Terminator 1 and Aliens, he had the acting chops to do this role.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why they drifted away from it? Of course, I guess he died in the first Terminator. We can all assume, but
Yeah.
it'd been nice to have him back on the second one for sure.
Yeah. Well,
I
with time travel, anything's possible. So
Yeah, once you start getting into part 3, 4, whatever, Dark Fate, like things get a little weird in the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
Terminator
that's
lore.
true.
That's
That's
for
true.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see,
but I
guys.
agree with you. I
We
just
have
wanted
about
to
5 minutes left, so I just want
oh,
to.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I used to have the pro Zoom, but then I end up going for an hour and a half. So now I do half hour things. But I just want to say, is there going to be any attempt to get this into Cameron's hands?
Oh gosh. I wish. I almost tagged Michael Bean in something the other day and thought about it, but I was like, oh no, I don't want to bring the heat down on us either. So I guess I'll just I'll leave it be. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see. That would be nice, huh? I'm sure he would just roll his eyes at it and you know chuck it into the ocean while he's out on one of his expeditions that he's
I don't know, because it does. One thing the Terminator series did. Oh no, it didn't have the first one had some cheesy music, but with two, it was already Guns N' Roses and you know the
It's
top
true.
rock acts.
John
You know what I mean?
Connor aspect. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like for me, Judgment Day, it's such a cool combo of words. I had to use it, but my heart is really Terminator One, and I agreed with everything you said about his performance as Kyle Reese in that movie. That's really the point of view of the song, and that's really what I think is the heart of the whole thing. So yeah, I have to echo you on that. But yeah, so I'd like to see what he thinks about it more than James Cameron. Perhaps he's on the level where he might actually share it out there. Maybe we need to go tap him on the shoulder
yeah. And
and
what
see.
I was gonna ask. Oh shit! I just dropped the thought. Sorry, guys.
Uh,
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was gonna because I noticed that you guys released it on Bandcamp first. And is this a new technique that you've done? Because usually you release it at the same time, right? Like on Spotify and Bandcamp and stuff. And I was just wondering if it worked for you did you get some sales out of it and that kind of thing?
Yeah,
First time for me. I
it's
don't know about you, Paul.
yeah. I've done it before with my other releases. So it's kind of been the strategy of being able to release it on Bandcamp. As we live in this world of streaming,
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of income from streams from Spotify. So, as a pretty much
for
a
sure.
strategy, I'll release it on Bandcamp. You get, you
Okay.
know, you can
Yeah.
set the price, you get more of a cut of it. So it gives the artists always, a more plus it's only there for like a week.
Yeah, yeah,
But we
yeah.
understand that it has to be on other types of streaming services like, Spotify and YouTube Music and Apple Music and all that. So it's a kind of a common thing that I've done.
Oh, really? Okay,
Um,
yeah. I thought that's kind of a cool strategy. I was wondering if it worked for getting some sales in there.
yeah, it's definitely been successful. We've had quite a few listens over the course of the last week. And once it comes out on Spotify and Apple Music, we'll be doing all promoting that as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
if you can wait a week, it'll get on the Spotify. But if you really want to support us, then yeah, definitely go to Bandcamp, because Bandcamp is probably one of the only ways to really make money in the music industry, it seems
Mm,
like,
yeah,
as an independent artist.
yeah, yeah.
And that's this Tuesday, the 25th. I'm not sure when the timing of this will be, but
Yeah,
it's the
I think
25th. You
I'll
can go listen to it.
yeah, I think I'll put it out on the 25th. So today it's hitting Spotify and all the other streaming. Well,
Perfect.
thank you guys. Yeah, great work, and I hope we'll be seeing more from the pairing of you two in the future. It seems like the ultimate pairing, kind of. I really, it's like it's such a great match of music and voice. I really enjoy what you guys do together. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
being
appreciate
here, and yeah, talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Scott.
Appreciate you, man.